eSIM is exploding. Over the last months, we've seen a record high usage of eSIM on smartphones, particularly coming from within travel. In the last months as well, we've also seen reports of Air Arlo, the largest eSIM provider in the world, surpassing 20 million customers throughout this lifetime, and also a market valuation of over $1 billion. The question now remains, how do operators get the most out of eSIM inside their strategies? Dario.
Well, fair point, Runar. So far, it's fair to say that there are eSIM unicorns and telecom operators are still horses, in some cases donkeys. What I'm trying to say is that telecom operators have been very reactive and very protective around the eSIM. Right now, we are seeing some clever new direction by telecom operators. We can see that Vodafone, Telefonica, and Orange have their own eSIM proposition. They are very much reacting to this new market phenomenon. But of course, there's a lot more to be done from a telecom operator point of view when we are talking about eSIM. This is exploding, as you say. The numbers are going up and up and up. And I'm not sure telecom operators are really understanding the magnitude of this. Talking about magnitude, Runar, you got some numbers. How many subscribers or how many smartphones are actually using eSIM?
Smartphone is, of course, it's the vessel for enabling eSIM. So really understanding what the install base looks like and the devices that are selling are absolutely essential for anyone trying to jump on the eSIM opportunity. Of smartphones sold worldwide in 2024, 27% of them were eSIM-enabled. But this varies massively across the world. If you look at the people buying smartphones in the US, almost 90% of them are eSIM capable. Of course, this is driven by Apple in the last 2 years that even have deployed eSIM-only smartphones with its iPhone range in the US. If you look at the rest of the world, most devices are using hybrid eSIM, and the number of eSIM-capable devices are gradually moving up, with some regions, for example, Europe, being a bit ahead of the curve. A part of this in Europe is accelerated by operators asking for eSIM to be a part of selected price band within the portfolios of smartphones that they range. But of course, the big hurdle for now remains China, where there is some more regulatory resistance about bringing eSIM onto smartphones, making it perhaps a bit harder for some vendors to justify, as China is a very, very large market for most smartphone brands. But it does lead a bit to a question of should operators look next to find an opportunity beyond just their install base and beyond what they should target?
That's a very fair point, Runar, because we've been talking about travel mobility. We've been talking about eSIM for travel. That is the most obvious segment to look at. That is the one where there is still price arbitration. There are still opportunities around. Telecom operators that I mentioned before, they are kind of turning wholesale services into retail services. Nice. But there is a lot more that eSIM will be changing in terms of telecom strategy. The entirety of the customer journey are changing. The eSIM should be mapped around the strategic direction of the entire network. So we know that telecom operators want to have network as a service strategy. We know that they want to have on-demand telecom services connectivity. Now, eSIM will play a massive role in all of that. What we are saying is that telecom operators have been late in understanding the travel mobility disruption. Hopefully, they are not going to be late in understanding all the ramifications that eSIM is going to have on the market. And hopefully, we can help them in getting some direction. Runar, back to you.
I think the most important advice and suggestion we put out to any company that's trying to capture the eSIM opportunity is that, first of all, you have to understand your customer base. You need to understand who you target. Do they have eSIM capable devices or do they not? If it is travelers, you need to understand the travel stream as well they are moving. And then we have to look at how that connects into the operator strategy. And it is some of the beauty about what we look at is that we're able to discuss and able to get this comprehensive view within Omdia. So if you want to understand more of how we look at the eSIM opportunity, get in touch.